I don't know if anyone else caught Kash Patel on Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah,
That was humiliating.
that was bad, dude.
Um, he is completely compromised. And like Joe Rogan even kind of realizes it in real time. And shout out to Too Lazy to Try for having this segment. But like there's first I'll show a couple clips. And then there's also, I mean, he went on there and said that there are 0 videos. 0. Except Pam Bondi said there are thousands of them.
Yep.
So
with Epstein and Epstein hurting children.
Right.
And CP.
Wait, what's this now? I'm interested in that video. It made me stop scrolling. I think I had it. I might have.
We don't see your screen. We just see the Joe Rogan clip, by the way.
Oh yeah. Good. It was a busty woman. So here's part of it.
It's going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat. Joe, you want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason.
By the way, I disavow that tweet. That's really stupid.
Yeah.
I
he
think technically is. Go ahead. What are you going to
say? But some people are saying that Elon knew that Kash was going to be on Rogan, and that's why he decided to tweet it at that very specific moment. That's the theory out there. But let's not forget, Elon also has ties to Epstein as well that no one likes to talk about.
He's pictured with Ghislaine, isn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it matters if Kash is on Rogan. Like, this is just something to get attention from the administration. And I'm not totally anti-Elon Musk, but it was definitely like watching a meltdown publicly.
So Elon, this is important because Elon talked about how Ghislaine Maxwell kind of like ambushed him, took a photo. He didn't know who she was. That's his explanation to it. But in 2011, there was a Silicon Valley meeting with Sergey Brin and a lot of other tech figures with Epstein. I posted about this. No,
all the muckety mucks were there. Yeah,
but this is something that happened in 2011. Where I have the tweet here. I'll send it to you because this is 2011. At a confirmed meeting where we have Sergey Brin, Jeffrey Epstein, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all hanging out at the same meeting together. And there's a Business Insider article that talks about how Elon Musk's brother was
there. He is right there.
Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, that's Epstein right there. So this is from 2011. And then you look at the other picture, and then Elon Musk is also at the same meeting.
Right. Yeah. So the whole thing is nonsense. But then, like,
seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe.
Any of that conversation.
I want to go to the second clip here because he looks
didn't kill himself.
Terrified.
Like, why is obviously Joe knows there's something fishy going on here too, and he doesn't trust Kash either. But he doesn't really call him out. You know, he questions him a little bit, but he probably knows Kash is just weighing over his head, and all he can do at this point is lie. You know, he's just too deep in it. So Kash keeps trying to tell him that there's footage of Epstein in his cell, which shows like whatever, you know, even if you have that, nobody's going to believe it. And I don't know what that's going to prove. You know, Kash.
Fine. He did. Fine. He took his own life. Now give me the list. Like, they're focusing too much on that. Hey, Baba.
She even said the video's boring. It's just him sitting there in his cell. So I don't know how that's going to prove that he wasn't murdered. And then also Joe mentions how originally they claimed there was no footage and it was deleted. And you can tell he doesn't know what to say. He's just like, well, ask the people who are in charge then. And it just gets awkward.
I'm not saying every single camera in the place was working. I'm saying we've got footage and you're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can make up your own mind. And the theories can continue. But my job
So
is to give
you
the
became
information.
aware of this footage recently.
The ones that we're looking at, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but this is like an article from quite a while ago that was saying that the footage was mistakenly erased.
Look, I mean, it goes back to the same. Ask the people that were in power then. I mean, I get it that you want to hold me to account for their actions, and
No, I'm not saying,
you, not you.
I'm not saying that.
Not you.
He's kind of being he's kind of being a bitch.
He's obviously uncomfortable. I mean,
look how his eyes are
on the
darting
defensive.
around. Yeah, he's looking down at the table. He's not looking at Joe. I'm sure a body language expert would tell you that he's extremely uncomfortable.
Just the public in general, and that's okay.
What's confusing to everybody today, first of all, it's very confusing because AI can kind of make anything.
You, after having looked at it, this ain't going to be AI.
You don't think so?
You're going to.
Why does he say it's not going to be AI? Doesn't it already exist? Like, That's weird.
Well, if it's not AI, just
it's-
release it. Like, what are we
They
doing
just said
here?
they're going to enhance the footage. That's what Dan Bongino said. We're going to enhance the footage.
No,
And then we'll
don't
give you the
touch
real-
it.
I'm like, this is an obfuscation effort. Let's just be honest and real with ourselves. They want to take away from the conversation about who is on that list, and they want to now make it, and they want to rehash an old debate that was already settled. Why? Because they want to change the course of this conversation. So now we're discussing something that's irrelevant towards getting actual justice here.
It's just not great. You know, it's like if it were AI, like someone wanted to come in and make it, they'd make it better.
But why would you make it better when people could,
He
you
knows.
could have ambiguous footage that is, totally generated by AI? I mean, AI can generate blurry images. AI can
Sure.
generate night vision.
I'm
How
pretty
much can
confident.
you talk about what you've seen?
Not yet.
None of it. Yeah.
Just what I've told
Can
you.
you say you've seen anything?
No, that's the point. That there's nothing in there.
He's clearly on a media tour to tell everyone to stop asking.
I
Like,
think they're
that's-
sending. It's sort of like Pam Bondi. Like, she messed up, so they kept sending her out to the press, but it kept making it worse. Like, they need to just scrub Kash Patel for a little while. I mean, I obviously think they should release the footage. I think they're doing whatever. But if you're trying to rehabilitate him, don't keep sending him to talk to people because it just gets worse every time.
Yeah.
But listen,
Like in
I
the
think
video.
I just sent you the last link. I think the last link I sent you explains what's happening with the footage and why it hasn't been released yet.
I'll put that. I want to get to the part. I'll play that. But then I want to show this where he basically says there are no videos of any criminal acts.
You guys will be bored.
You talking about the video of the murder or the suicide?
The suicide.
Yeah, so it's hilarious that everyone knows something's up. Nobody trusts him, not even Joe. And I'm sure Kash knows that as well, but he just has no other option than to lie. And he kept complaining about how people feel conspiracy theories that aren't true. But before he became head of the
At all of it,
But I have a different background, right?
right?
So I was a public defender back in the day. I used to spend a lot of time in jails and a lot of time in segregated housing units.
I've spent a lot of time in federal detention facilities as a public defender before. Talking
I mean,
to my clients.
and he goes on to show, like, Kash specifically said, there's something off with this. There's definitely something going on. And now, like, he's got the job, and he's like, no, nothing's going on. You guys are all crazy. Oh, yeah, Ryan Long's video. Yeah.
Lately there's been a lot of conspiracy theories about why the footage proving Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself is taking so long to release. I think I should maybe do like a slow zoom here. And as the editor in charge of this project, I want to say that we're this close and perfection takes time. See, now I'm kind of liking the green. I spent 18 hours a day of the last 2 weeks working on color alone. White balancing a jail wall is hard as f***. That's kind of gritty. I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's more believable than the official version of events right now.
yeah, but I mean, it's like, don't you think, like, fine, he did, let's say, all right, I will concede that he did take his own life. Weren't there pictures of safes that they had open and taken videos out? There were literal evidence
Hard
lists.
drives,
Yeah.
photos, CDs, DVDs.
And all Kash said on the show was, well, we're not going to re-victimize these people. It's like, yeah, but okay, well, Pam Bondi said there were tens of thousands. Like, for a fact, she said that in a Project Veritas video. So is she making that up? Like,
I want someone to ask Kash directly about that, because it's showing sort of it's showing a break in the chain of the Trump administration if these two high-ranking officials are saying different things about the exact same topic. And I think ultimately, even though Pam Bondi did not do well for a while there, Kash Patel is coming out as being less credible. It's upsetting because I think so many people had faith in him. But again, like I said, they need to stop this media tour, because until they get their story straight or release something, it's just going to fuel more distrust, which hurts the Trump administration overall.
Here's the side by side.
The narrative has always been that there's video, but what about the video from the island?
Again, we're going to give you everything we can, and people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women. We're not.
What does that
But
even
if there
mean?
Right,
Like,
if there are
he has
women
an
here who are
opportunity to give
victims,
them justice. He has an opportunity to finally have some kind of accountability for the predators that hurt them, and you're not hurting them by getting justice for them.
it's wildly infuriating. So he's basically saying, well, there's random women featured on this island in these videos, But then he also says that there is no video of any crimes. So like,
so there are
which is
victims,
it?
but also no crimes. How does that work?
Yeah, exactly.
That shit back out there. It's not happening because then he wins. Not doing it.
I like he's morally grandstanding here too. Like, we're not gonna re-victimize these women. As far as I know, Luke, you're the resident expert. There's only been 1 or 2 women named, right? Like,
there's been
there's
few.
been none named from the island. Not one. Has there? That was a victim on the island, except for Virginia Guffrey.
Yeah, Virginia was on the island, and I believe there's others that were on the island as well. There was one victim that allegedly died of an overdose not so long ago in West Palm Beach as well.
Yeah.
The fact that and in this video, Kash is like, hey, if you know anything, come to us, tell us. And I'm like, you should be asking people to come in. You should be asking Bill Clinton to come in, Kevin Spacey to come in, Chris Tucker to come in, and be like, what do you guys know? You should be trying to get Prince Andrew to come in and be like, okay, let's just figure this out. You should be taking the victims and you should say, hey, let's come in again. Let's tell us your story, but tell us your story now since we're under a new leadership here. You should be going to New Mexico. You should be going to all the other properties that they never stepped foot in. You should be going to whistleblowers and coming to the FBI and saying, look, help us with this case. Let's make this happen. You shouldn't be saying, hey, come to me, because now I don't think anyone will, because there's so much mistrust between them and everybody else.
Yeah, why would you?
You want to hit me for it? Fine. Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
No. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. We know. Didn't they say like he was prolific for, I thank you for joining as a member, RP. Didn't he say that he like had prolific surveillance systems, hidden cameras everywhere in his house? I watched news reports on that. And then one of the first documentaries on this said that. He had like hundreds of cameras in his New York home.
Yeah,
that's what they were.
Cameras, but there's nothing to show you, according to Kash Patel.
There was hidden cameras everywhere, and a whole room dedicated towards surveillance with a bunch of screens everywhere. As there was hidden cameras in the toilets, there was hidden cameras in the main living room, in every single room, and then we had people like the Prime Minister of Israel, Edmund Barak, literally just walking on in there. Woody Allen, another questionable person who likes them on the younger side.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, just coming in and out. We had the daughter of the Australian Prime Minister walking in and out. Oh, nothing to see here.
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
And is there video from the island?
Not of what you want.
So this narrative might.
What does that mean?
It's so funny to see Kash on the show and like be the hostile person, Yeah. I think a couple years ago, given the places that Kash was being interviewed, you would have thought this would have been a much more friendly, upbeat interaction. I think Joe Rogan does a good job, but of continuing to push for the information he's looking for. I wonder if whoever set this up for Kash was like, it'll be a softball. He's not going to ask you anything. He'll believe you.
Yeah, but this is one of Rogan's like. This and like Aliens, he's on. This isn't like.
But he's not even pushing back that much. He's like, I believe you.
Yeah.
I think he's not trying to be confrontational, but he's not moving on to a new subject. Like when Kash says, like, we're going to give it to you, he's not like, okay, cool. So anyways, tell me about something else. Like,
he's staying on it.
Doesn't make sense to me.
But then like this last, like, okay, so.
There's video of these guys doing this.
Exactly.
Have you guys reviewed everything that you have?
Almost. Like yes, we have, and now we're figuring out
which is it?
How to
put
it out.
But then
is there footage?
If there was footage of anyone doing anything else, we would have opened a case.
Tens and thousands of videos, it's all with little kids. That's what Pam Bondi said a month ago. So one of them is lying. And it's like not even up for debate. It's so wild.
Yeah.
It seems crazier to me that they're not in sync. I mean, this has been one of the most talked about issues for a long time, but during the Trump administration since January, since both Pam Bondi and Kash Patel said day one, and look where we are right now. Like, you can't tell me that no one was like, it seems weird that you guys are on different sides of the aisle, and then they both were like, no, it's fine. We'll just pretend we're going to put out videos, but also not, but also sometimes are. Like, they're drawing. If they didn't want to talk about Epstein and everything that's going on, they're doing the worst job of trying to divert the public's attention.
Yeah. This is
disappointing.
This was like depressing to watch. It's like, really? Like, we're collecting stores now, and we're getting, obfuscated, and we're not getting anything.
I mean, why haven't they released a prison video? That should have been the easiest thing. It doesn't even show any crime happening.
Well, they said the prison video didn't exist. They're like, oh no, there's no prison video.
Yeah, now they have one. Thinking, that'll shut them up.
It's like, wait, okay, who lied? And there should be obstruction of justice charges against the people who lied in the beginning.
Well, and Kash also said in the interview, oh, well, prison guards, they didn't fall asleep. You'll see that on the video. But then the official narrative was that they fell asleep.
And they were held responsible for lying on their reports.
They got fired.
And they got a slap on the wrist during court proceedings.
They didn't fall asleep or lie. So you guys so we're going to see like a wrongful termination suit from those guys? Or
right. Yeah, they were only looking at buying brand new jet skis for no reason at all. Like you'd have to be crazy.
Adrian, Jeremy, stop taking away my rights.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, guys who make $14 an hour are always looking at brand new $20,000 jet skis while on the job on their cell phones. Yeah,
honestly, though, I feel like people do that, though. They're like dreaming of a better life.